Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I'm just finishing up the last little bits of planting for the grass here. Now, if I just lower that one down and... Oh, no, I've done that all wrong. X? Oh, X will fold it back up, I hope. Yes, it will, right. We go to the front one, and then we can switch it on and lower it down, and it should go. So we've just got a little strip up through here that we want to plant, and then there's a little strip down the other side, so we can go through and do these while we're talking. Now then, my weekly question I asked you all last week, we're planting a load of sugar beet in the huge, humongous field that we've got across the top of our map. And so I wanted to know, when we come to harvest all of that sugar beet, what did you want me to do with it? Did you want me to sell it immediately to whichever dealership that we would use for selling? Or would you rather I stuck it all in a great big heap somewhere? I've had all kinds of suggestions of what to do with this stuff. The most common... Well, actually, when we get to that, I had 3,695 answers to this question. 410 people want me to sell it. 3,285 people would like me to stick it in a heap somewhere. A lot of people want me to stick it in those gorges over there and see if we can fill the gorge right up with sugar beet. Now, that sounds like an excellent idea. I'm not sure if we'll be able to remove it from the gorge afterwards, and I'm also not sure what it's going to do to the frame rate on the map. Both of which would kind of, I think, be seriously affected. I can't imagine that they wouldn't be seriously affected. So there's going to be some serious issues with frame rates and stuff if we do that, but naturally we're going to try anyway. I've had a lot of people asking me, there's all kinds of things that people have been asking me to do on this map. I said about a battle with the battle tractors. We got this fabulous battle tractor that we are using to do our planting here. Absolutely beautiful looking mod, it really is, and we haven't really done anything apart from standard farming. So I did suggest that we could try some sort of battle, but I wasn't sure how we'd do it. I've had various suggestions. We could use, like, try and make a marking area on the ground and then try to do something with it like that. We could, or what were other suggestions? There was, someone suggested that we could, like, use the, not the tow rope, the tow bar thing, and put it between the two and try to use the follow me mod in order to get them to go their separate ways and see what would happen then. I thought that actually sounded like a pretty cool idea. We could try doing that. There are other things that we might be able to try in order to have an actual battle with battle tractors. And then, of course, we could just use them to ram something, because unlike the Big Bud, I think I could make some modifications to the battle tractor. I haven't wanted to at the moment because it is such a cool mod. I just kind of wanted to keep it as it is, but we could make some changes to this one, and then we could do some interesting things with it. So we could, like, line them up and we could ram them at something and see who can knock. Say we could park a big Bud, you know, the sacred Big Bud, the world's biggest, most powerful tractor, which is kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like a monument, like it's something to be preserved and respected, the Big Bud tractor. So we could stick one in the middle of a field and then drive a modified battle tractor that goes a bit faster, ram it into the Big Bud and see which one can knock the Big Bud the furthest. We could try something like that. I don't really know, but we will at some point have a go at doing something along those lines. I'm just not quite sure just yet what that's going to be. All I need to do here is just complete the end of this row here. I'm going to come back to this in a second, and we're just going to take a look at our other tractors and what they're doing, because we've got so many different things that we're doing on the map at the moment. So if I flick through these, I tried to tip the grass out and I dumped it there. That didn't work. But someone sent me a screenshot showing me exactly where I need to tip, and it should actually work. So I tried the grasshopper, and this thing is an absolutely fabulous mod. It is brilliant. Tried all kinds of things with it. Someone did say what the bits that come out to the side are. There's like an interaction thing that you can do with it. I haven't really tried to do very much with it, but I might go back to that and see if we can do anything with it at some point. But let's just get this one back down to the sheep pens. I've gone the wrong side. I need to be the other side of this fence. That's okay. We'll go round. So you got the sheep there. We got 2,500 sheep, and we got a load of water for them. And I did originally intend to just get cows, or at least cows to start with, and we'd do sheep as like a an afterthought, but now I'm sort of thinking that actually the sheep wasn't a bad idea, and it gave us a chance to try this one out. I did empty this one successfully into the cattle yard, so I know that the tip works, and the reason we couldn't get it to tip just on the ground by itself is because of the way that this thing works. It doesn't tip out very successfully. Now then, I think it was this here. It was like the tip trigger on this is so small that it was like almost impossible to see. But I did get sent screenshots of where the tip trigger is, and it was actually working. Is it here? It's like dead center on only one side. It's not there. And I've got fuel showing at the moment. I'm not sure why it keeps saying fuel. I don't know if that's because I've got to fill something up. There was, yeah, it was something to do. It's not lower pickup. It's refuel. So where's the fuel tank? There's a fuel tank that is reaching this one somewhere. Then you had hide the HUD, left shift H. No. T, FL, lift lower. Oh, service. Pretty sure it was, yes, the service thing comes out. And then I can't remember which one it was that we were supposed to do. There was something to do with the service. I don't remember what that was about. Someone did explain it and how to use it, and I absolutely can't remember how to do it. So, yeah, I apologise for that. Now, I'm pretty sure it was here. Wasn't it here? No. Right, apparently it's not there. And maybe it's on this one. There was one single spot where the person was able to tip it out, but I'm not seeing a tip trigger, and I'm wondering if it's something to do with the fact that we've got this fuel thing sticking up on our map, and I don't know what that is referring to. If I try to tip, like force tip it, like that, it tips a little bit, but it doesn't even tip properly. So yeah, it's still not working properly. I suspect it might be something to do with the mod. I'm gonna have to look again and just sort of see what it is that I'm doing wrong. Because it's really unfortunate, and I got a feeling it's something to do with the fact that we've got that fuel symbol available down on the side, because if I go for a drive, it doesn't disappear anywhere. It's something to do with that. I think, well, at least that's my theory. Because if you look at this, the T lower, that's the, you can put a loader arm on there, which is actually really cool. I really do. You can have a front loader on this thing as well. So you bring this one open, the service thing, but it doesn't actually do anything. There's no options to use when you've got the service thing open. You've got service enable, disable, but it doesn't do anything else. So I'm not really certain what that's supposed to be about. So let's just close that one down. We're going to park this one here. We will be using this for the cows. It's just for the sheep, it's really confusing, and I don't really know what's going on with it. Now then, we have our Rolnin tractor up here. You've got that one that we'd stuck on there. This tractor here is about ready, I think. I think we've almost finished planting all the sugar beet. There's one little bit. I have modified this tractor again. I've just tweaked it a bit. It's more powerful so that because last time, if you remember, it was slowing down a bit, and we didn't like the fact that it was slowing down. So it's now working as it should be. But I think it may have gone a little bit the other way. In part, I think it's because of the weight of this machine that we've got on the back. That's certainly not helping the situation. So we do have to sort of keep that in mind. However, it's still obscenely powerful. So if I just bring this one up here, that's most of that bit done. We'll spin round. There we go. And just do that little strip there. And then that's most of this field now done. If I take the seed drill off, it would probably work okay. It would probably work just perfectly. We do have a little piece over here somewhere, I think. And then there's two strips on the other side of the field that we've got to deal with. Yes, there was one little bit here that the tractor wouldn't do. So if I come to this point... Oh, so we've actually got some seed growing now. It's planting fertilizer on there. It's just not doing the rest of it, which is absolutely fine. We can cope with that. So let's lift that one out. It'll keep going. And there's one more little piece right in here. There we go. Right. That's all of that bit of the field done. We just need to go over to this end of the field now, and you can see we've got a little piece here and a strip up through there. The reason that it did that was because it kind of got part way, and because of the steepness of the ground on either side, it didn't like it, and so it stopped working. We can work around that, so we just need to get this finished. Oh, there is a strip here. I don't know how that came into being. We'll worry about that in a minute. Let's go and get this big strip over this side first. Then we can come back to that. I think that's probably where I started the second tractor working, because we had two of them there going. So we've got these strips up through here. The grass is just finishing off, and then the big bud is actually still filling up with fertilizer. That one's probably almost done. I mean, the money is still racing down at the moment, but it's not going to be doing so for very much longer, which means that it has very nearly almost finished. So let me just back up here and press H so that it starts itself. Helper H has completed their task. So let's go and see some of these other ones. That one has got crops growing up here. See, there's crops growing in like little places all over on the field. This one here, oh, he's so close, 98% full. When this one's full, we're going to put a Rolnin tractor on it, and we're going to use the Rolnin to tip it out. We're not just going to tip it in a heap. I'm going to drive as fast as I can, and then I'm going to start tipping, because I don't think it will tip otherwise. I don't think it's going to do properly what we'd like it to do. Here is our Zeta doing a fantastic job. You can't really see very much of what it's done at the moment, but it's almost reached the halfway point. So it's really doing well. It's actually doing amazingly well. Our combine's all parked up. This one... oh yeah, I was planting a little bit of wheat over here, so we can actually move this tractor. We'll do that with the teleport. I had people asking me if I could teleport something onto a roof, so we will try that right now. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to save the game. Okay, how did that work? Oh, I know why. There. Now let's try saving the game. Yes. I'd like to save this game just in case this causes a major issue. Right, there is the shed. We are going to dump this on top of the shed. Okay, that's not the shed. The shed is actually right behind us. You can see where the other vehicles are. So, if we can... Oh no, you can't zoom in on this map. Where's the best shed to do? Right, if we can go just to the side. I see the sheds. It's those white bits there. So let's try... No! Oh, okay, so it doesn't go on top of the shed, it goes into the shed, and this isn't quite what we were after, is it? Okay, so, in answer to your question, those few people who have asked me to try sticking it on top of a shed, no, it doesn't work. We cannot do that, so let's just dump it out in the middle of this field here, and close that down. There. That can stay there just fine. It's not interrupting or interfering with anyone, so let's switch that one off. I love the rundown of the engine on that. It's brilliant. And we have the next battle tractor. That one is done as well, so that one we can move. And we'll go here onto the big map, and then we go to the teleport bit, and there's our first one. So if we drop this one over here, so it's close but not right on top of. Close that map down and go to the next one. This one, we just want to go along and just finish up. Actually, I might do that later. No, I'm going to do it now. We just want to go along and we want to just finish this up. I've actually started drilling. There we go. I need to lower it down there. Right. Finish this up. I just need to do one strip along this bottom end, and then this will be all grass. And it will all be fertilized as well. If you take a look at the growth, not the growth, soil composition, fertilizer. It does need ploughing, but we don't need to worry about that. Everything is done because we've only got one layer of fertilizer. It does make it a lot easier with one layer of fertilizer. I'll just finish this, then we can go over and we can finish planting the sugar beet, and then that will all be done. And the only issue we've got is we can't put food in for the sheep. I'm not too worried about that because the sheep produce pallets of wool, and we don't really want to be dealing with hundreds of pallets of wool. So we'll kind of leave it based on a... Oop, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Look here, we've got plenty of water, and the cleanliness is perfect. So productivity is at 10%. So, I mean, we could always get another few thousand sheep, and we could just run it like that and see how much wool they produce without actually putting any food in at all for them. That might be an interesting way to do that. Not quite sure yet. We'll wait and see. We'll see how the one pallet progresses. The last thing I want is to have to worry about loads of pallets, because I have played a map before where I let the pallets build up and you just get spammed with error messages because there's nowhere to place the pallets, and it does cause a few issues. So hopefully we can avoid having any of that. But anyway, I will see you when I have finished planting this field, and then we can go back to the Rolnin tractor up over there and finish planting that sugar beet. And then we should be ready. We can jump forward a little bit in time and we can start cutting and doing some hay. And that's going to be an interesting bit, is whether or not we can actually make the hay properly, because of the whole situation with the 4 times the maps and not being able to turn hay properly. That is that field finished. I'm just teleporting over here out of the way. We've got all 3 battle tractors over here without... they're not in the way of anyone or anything, so we don't need to worry about them any longer. Right. We want... Oh. The silage here, that's busy fermenting. We don't need to worry about that, do we? Grasshopper, and this one out the end here, this one's completely finished with. If I just... I tell you what, if I just finish this one, he's... See, he's done it again. He's turned. It's because he's not planting properly, so we're going to have to turn on, and we're going to have to do this manually, I think. There. Right, spin round. Okay, I really did soup the power up quite a lot with this, just because I wanted to make sure that it worked. It does seem... Perhaps I may have been just a teensy bit excessive with the ramping of the power. And, yeah, and I'm not really sure what to make of this. I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to have a powerful tractor, but at the same time, I do want one that we can actually use, because if it's too much, we're not going to be able to use it very well. But I think it's partly because of the weight we've got on the back. Remember, I have increased the capacity and width and everything of this Amazon drill, so it is kind of very, very tail heavy on the tractor. Now, if we can just get down here and harvest this bit. Yeah, that's half the reason. It's swinging it round because of the weight. And the way it's working on the hills, and so it's pulling it round. That's part of the reason it's doing this. Yeah, it's lifting me up into the air, which I don't really want it to do. Now, I thought that I'd altered the weights accordingly on this tractor, and I have altered weights on this tractor, but obviously I've not altered them enough to make this work properly. Just ease along there. There we go. Right, there's that first bit done. And this is why it didn't work with the hired help. Because we're having to do it like this. Okay, this is okay. We can work through this. We don't mind. And we come up here. So, sugar beet harvesting. I have had all kinds of suggestions on how to do it. Lots of harvesters. Lots of small harvesters. A few big harvesters. One absolutely enormous harvester that will take the entire width of the field in one single pass. Now that could be very interesting, but obviously I would then have to adjust, alter the weights of it, because I think the mod that we've got that alters the trailer weights only affects trailer weights, and it doesn't affect the weights of stuff in other machines. So our sugar beet harvester would end up just not working. Ooh. I've turned this thing off, that's why it's not cultivating properly. Planting properly. Well, it works okay going in that direction. But it doesn't seem to want to work going up and down the hills. I just want to get this one little bit planted. If we can get this little bit done, we are well on our way to the biggest sugar beet harvest the world has ever seen. Well, maybe not quite the biggest sugar beet harvest the world has ever seen, but certainly we're on our way to being able to play with some absolutely massive sugar beet harvesters and have a little fun while we're doing it. So let me just go like that. Now if I press H, nope, it's leaving bits. I don't like leaving bits. Let's come around. Yeah, it's definitely the weight of the machine that's doing this. The weight of the machine pulling it down the hill. Let's spin round again. Up here, I just want to move it so that the tracks are up just a bit. There we go, about halfway across. If I press H now, it should hopefully do most of this itself. And I'm hoping now that the hired help will be able to correct the wheel slip. and so it will work properly. See, it's fertilizing out on the edge over there, so it is actually covering it. For the most part, it does seem to work okay, and if you can get the hired help doing it, it corrects it before it holds it on course. In it, if it does start to sort of drift either way, it starts correcting it before we can even see that it's doing it, because well, that's just how it works. You know, these computer things are rather clever. I apologise for not actually doing very much extra today, because we're just kind of finishing this up and having a little play around. We are going to be, as soon as we finish the planting, we can jump forward in time and we can make a start. I think I will just finish this episode up, though, with the last of that fertilizer. We're going to stay and we're going to nurse this one through. The fertilizer has almost finished. Actually, I think it has finished now. I think the fertilizer trailer is completely full. So we will finish the episode up with emptying out that 8.5 million litres of fertilizer onto the floor somewhere. I'm not quite sure where that's going to be, but we will find somewhere suitable and dump it out. Probably we will do it in the field down the bottom. If we just take a quick look back at our map, this one down here, because this is a field that we're not going to use. We're not going to get involved down here. You guys said you wanted me to plough this up here, and you wanted me to play around up here and do stuff with these fields. So I've decided that I'm not going to get involved with anything down here. We're just not going to worry about it. So this is kind of like a dumping ground, a messing around type place that we can do. Which means I'm thinking that we'll try and stick the fertilizer in a line sort of straight up across here somewhere. If we can get away with it. Right, here's the big question. I've souped this tractor up way beyond what it was. Can it stop in time? Oh, that was close. That was really, really close. Because I souped it up, I did also increase the braking power of it, but I was just wondering if it was sufficient braking power, and yes, it was. Most likely, the way that we're going to harvest this, we're not going to have a harvester that will do the full width of the field. Some people suggested trying to add sugar beet to a standard combine. I don't know if I can do that. Adding another fruit to a machine, I don't know if I'm capable of doing that or not. I will have to see. If I could do it, I think it would be very, very messy. It would be very interesting. I think it would be very interesting to see a combine actually doing the sugar beet harvest. I really do like that idea. I genuinely do. I think it's an awesome idea. But I just don't know if I have the ability to be able to do it. My modding skills are very, very limited at the moment. I am learning as I go along. Every adjustment that I make to a vehicle for your viewing pleasure is kind of teaching me new things about how to do the modding. Poor minion, he can't see anything. Oh dear. Stuart! What's happened, Stuart? They blinded you. Oh, poor Stuart. Oh, never mind. We have almost finished, and we are running out of time. Right, I tell you what, I will just finish this up now, and as soon as it's done, we can then go and see the big bud and see all the fertilizer in the trailer, and when we can get the fertilizer out of the trailer, so that tomorrow, we're not going to do the sugar beet tomorrow. I'm not going to start that harvest, probably not going to start that this week. Tomorrow we're going to start doing some haymaking stuff. We're going to cut some grass, we're going to try turning some grass, and I got a few ideas for how we're going to approach these. It's going to require a bit of behind-the-scenes work and some more learning for me with regards to altering mods. But anyway, I'll finish this up, and then I will meet you by the big bud. There we go. The last of it. I know I said I'd meet you by the big bud, but I just wanted to see the glorious finish. There we go. And that is the sugar beet all planted. Look at that. That is absolutely huge. I wonder if it tells us how much we've done in a statistic. I don't think it does. I don't think it breaks it down into individual ones. And we've got sown hectares here. Ploughed land, does it say ploughing? Fertilised hectares, harvested, sown, cultivated, worked. Cultivated, well, we haven't done much cultivating yet. It's only the little tractor that's doing that. Sown hectares is 31. Fertilised is 40. So sown. Oh, we did do a little bit in the other field as well, didn't we? We've done a couple of bits of sowing, but most of it is up here. So we've got like 30 hectares at least. Ooh. It doesn't really give us enough information about that, does it? Not enough at all. So I will get rid of. I want to get rid of these two drills, And then once I got rid of the 2 drills, because I don't think we're going to use them again in this series. We might use them on another map, but not in this series. So as soon as I got rid of those 2, I will meet you over by the big bud. There is the big bud. Ready and waiting. Hang on, I'm climbing. There we go. 8.5 million litres. And even with the mod that we've got in order to lower the weight of items in trailers, it's still, you can see that it's like pushing down with the trailer and everything. It's like it is causing some problems. So the big bud can pull this around, and that works just fine. I don't want to tip any more here just in case it causes any problems, so I'm going to unhitch that one. It is leaning back just a little bit, and we'll move the big bud over here. We're going to use the big bud at some point. It's just that as it's one that I can't modify, I can make no changes to whatsoever, it's kind of lower on my list of priorities compared to other ones. We've used the big bud in different things. We've used it realistically, and that's kind of the main problem, is that I can't really use it very unrealistically on this series because of the way that the DLC works. You can't modify the DLC the way that you can just an ordinary mod. There's a lot of weight on the back of this. It is swinging it around a bit. The tractor is sticking to the ground a little bit better because of the extra weight and everything. Trailer is sticking up in the air quite a bit, and you can see that there is a lot of weight in there by the clouds that are coming off the wheels. It's moving it around a little bit. It is moving the tractor a bit. So we've sort of just about reached the absolute limit of what the mod can do. The one is from Modhub, I think it is. The person that's made this one, he made a realistic one. I've got a link to it in the description. There is a realistic weight mod that you can add, and it makes your trailers a lot more realistic with regards to weight. But at the bottom of the description on the thing on Mod Hoster, he's got another link to the mod I'm using here, which gives you unrealistic weights. It really lowers them down, and yes, you can see it's really dragging it round now. So we've kind of reached the limit of what his mod will allow you to do. But 8.5 million litres of fertilizer in here. Now, fertilizer is quite heavy, so I'm confident that we could say that 1 litre to 1 kilo does work with this. So we've essentially got, what have we got here? We got 85,000 tons. Yes, that's right. We've got 85,000 tons of fertilizer in this trailer on the back of this tractor. So that's just to give you an idea of just the kind of weight, because water is 1 kilo to 1 litre. Fertilizer, because it's so heavy, it's approximately the same. You're looking at roughly 1 kilo to 1 litre, so volume to weight wise. So the ratio is about right. So yeah, 85,000 tons right here. Never mind that. That's not the bit that you're interested in, is it? Goodness sake, Frithgar, hurry up, get a move on, and get to the bits that we want to see. We're not interested in the weights and measures lecture. We don't want to know. What we want to know is how well it tips out. So, first of all, we're going to try just tipping right where we are, just in a heap, and see what that does. So we'll do that. Let's just tip, and how much does it tip out? Right, that has tipped out about 50,000 litres. Thereabouts, because we had 8.5 million, so it's actually over that. It's 60,000 litres. Next up, and this is the bit that I've been looking forward to. I don't know about the rest of you. Let's hang on. I want this. Obviously, this is going to be my screenshot for today, so I need to get this right. I want to zoom in enough so that I can sort of see what we're doing. We know which direction we're going. We've got plenty of space to sort of run up through. I'm going to get rid of the map there, so we don't have that sort of interfering with things. And we are going to go and then start tipping. So we want to build up speed once we reach about 50, 60 miles an hour. Now we can start tipping. And yes, it's glorious. It's wonderful. 8.5 million litres of fertilizer being tipped right out across the map. And it's working really, really well. That is brilliant. Let's just bring the map. See where we go. Oh, no, we've hit the fence. No way. No way. Oh, that was brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Oh, that is awesome. Right, we're going to need to move this one. So if we can just move it. We don't need to move it very far. We just want to sort of... Actually, no, I'll tell you what. We'll move back down the bottom here. Roughly where we started. And we've only 76,000. You know, it emptied out a lot faster than we put it in there, didn't it? That was a lot quicker putting it back, emptying it out than it was getting it in there in the first place. But we can now do jumps and all sorts. So we've got ourselves a really, really long ramp, which is excellent. So let's try the long ramp. And over we go. Right, it doesn't look like it's going to be kind of like the silage. The silage situation, we were able to flip the tractor. We did a complete flip. That was our very last episode. We did that. This time, it doesn't look like we can do that. But if we hit this at an angle, maybe it will sort of rotate over as it goes. We'll see. No, it's just put it on the roof. But that's what you got to love about this game. If it goes on the roof, very often it will try to correct itself. The weight of the trailers to get... I am deliberately keeping the trailer up in the air like this just because I thought it would be amusing to do it. So let's bring that one up and through. Up over the ramp. And the trailer is what is going to cause the full flip. Actually, I think the trailer... If we could get enough speed, I think the trailer could actually pull it up and over to like give us that full flip. I mean... I think we'll try both. We'll get a run up down through here so that we can get up to... Because I think our maximum speed... Actually, I think our maximum speed has... Has it increased? No, it hasn't. 93. I did... Yeah, I kept the top speed the same. So we got 93 miles an hour. I did think about increasing the top speed. And then I thought, well, no, because... I mean, yeah, I'm not worried about the realism. What I'm worried about is if you increase the top speed too much, it does become a lot harder to handle. And no, it's not going to do it, is it? It's just going to kind of bowl down the track. So if we unhitch that trailer a minute, I got to lower it down. We'll unhitch the trailer and we'll just drop it right here. That was a lot of fun. Oh, no, I want to do that. There we go. Right. Now we'll see if we can get going again and... Try one more flip. It should reach 90. Yes, it's 90 odd miles an hour. That's close enough. And actually, that stayed pretty level. That's pretty good. I think I'm quite impressed with that. I'm quite impressed with the way that it did that. That is good. What are those sell points over there? I'm not actually sure. Right, we'll try this once more. Right, up and over. Is it going to do it? Is it going to stay straight? Oh, it's going over the top, and we are bouncing, and there we go. Okay, brilliant. Excellent fun. Right, so we now have a huge, great, big, long ramp of fertilizer all the way up through here. Now, there is ways that you could get rid of fertilizer, but there's, you know, you could run a cultivator over it, and you could do something like that with it. We could get another trailer load, and we could try and tip out another trailer load over the top of it. That could be quite interesting. It'd be something different for us to do. So we've kind of got options available, but it's going to be difficult, whatever we decide to do. I mean, if we try to tip more fertilizer out across the top of this, it's going to be much more difficult than it is at the moment. But we can sort of see. I mean, we could just if you run a cultivator over it, it does get rid of it. So this week, I'm not putting up a poll. I'm not putting up a poll for a weekly question. What I want this week, I'm going to ask you every day this week, suggestions, ideas, what could we do with this long ramp of fertilizer that we've put out? We've just dumped 8.5 million litres of fertilizer in a huge long line across the field. Now, I dumped it down here because I thought it was going to be out the way and we're not going to do anything with it. But I think this is actually going to be really useful. I'm now thinking this is actually going to be something really cool, and there's got to be something that we can do with this. So I want your suggestions this week down below. You need to put suggestions in the comments. There's no weekly question this week. Suggestions in the comments. What do we do with that fertilizer line? Sugar beet, we're going to be dumping it in the gorge, and we're going to try and fill the gorge up with sugar beet. And that's obviously, it's going to be different. We're going to do different things with that than we are with this, and we don't know what kind of yield we're going to get from sugar beet. No idea what's going to happen with that. This fertilizer, this is kind of the next big thing. So what do you want us to do with it? Get in the comment section down below. Let us know what you want and why. And of course, this week, you can't cast your vote in the top right-hand corner because I don't actually have a vote. And I will next week read out some of the best suggestions, and we'll sort of go with what you guys have said that we should do. Okay, so if you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later. I've actually tipped the tractor over for the first... Oh no, there he goes. Goodbye, and see you later.